Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Craig Stern. We're going to be starting a Let's Play of one of my favorite old games, the 1997 Microprose classic, Magic the Gathering, also known as Shandalar. This is actually a game that Sid Meier worked on, believe it or not, and it was the last game that he worked on for Microprose before he went on to found what we now know today as Firaxis, or Firaxis. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that place, but you know, the guys that made the reboot of Julian Gollop's XCOM. This game is just great. I'm just going to come out and say it, especially if you like Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has not put out anything like this since this game came out. I remember this thing originally released for Windows 95, if you can believe that crap. It doesn't even like run properly on anything more recent, unless you happen to get a version that's been overhauled. And that's the thing, because there hasn't been any follow-up from Wizards of the Coast, anything like this game to this day has just an absolutely rabid fan following. People just love this game to death, and for good reason, as we'll soon see. And consequently, there have been people that have been like patching it and keeping it so that it runs on current-gen operating systems, just because, you know, otherwise it's just abandonware. Like, you can't get it on GOG, you can't get it anywhere. And Wizards of the Coast doesn't want you to get it anywhere because, frankly, then you don't have any reason to spend $1 zillion on their cards. Let's go ahead and start a new game. So, first of all, we select our difficulty level. We're just going to go with normal here. We're going to be Magician. Once you select your difficulty, you then select your primary color. The game then randomly, procedurally generates a starting deck for you that is predominantly whatever color you pick. I like pretty much all of the colors. I've played Magic the Gathering since I was a little kid, so you know, I have affection for pretty much every color in one regard or another. However, I think we're going to start off with black. Black has always been probably my favorite. You know, just, you know, it's, any color where you get to use a spell like Terror is like A-okay by me. So this is a special version of Shandalar that runs in Windows 7 and 8 successfully, which, you know, isn't necessarily what you'd expect given the series history, but it's, oh, wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, there we go. We were going to be a marshmallow roasting creature, for sure. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Let's do it. Lady Dragetta sounds good to me. So first thing you'll notice is your little avatar there on the world map doesn't actually look anything like you. It's just something that's there. So the first thing you want to do in this game is you want to go to a village and see where it says Edit Deck, Sell Cards. You can see what deck the game has given you and make edits as necessary. So since we chose black, the game has given us a predominantly black deck, but not entirely. We have a little bit of white in there as well. I don't really want to have a Circle of Protection in my starting deck. That's just going to, frankly, get in the way most of the time. So we have a pretty good setup here. We have, well, we have a Black Knight. That's really good to start with. We have a couple Urg Raiders. Those are also very helpful. Drudge Skeletons could be very useful for defense. Not super crazy about the Pit Scorpion. Might take that one out. Plague Rats. Just one set of Plague Rats, not very helpful, but the rest of these are pretty good. Alright, Amulet of Krug could actually be quite helpful. We'll keep that in. Graveshot Catapult, potentially useful. Fisher's War Machine, good, 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 good. Alright, I feel pretty good about this starting deck. Let's go ahead and see what they have for sale here. We could buy more planes, that could be helpful. We could buy a Frozen Shade. That could be helpful. We only have 200 gold to start with, though, so it might not be in our best interest to spend it on that. These guys, on the other hand, yeah, we could use a slightly tougher creature to pad out our roster there. So as you can see, you have food that gets used up as you travel around. You buy that in villages. You can take on quests. The entire world, the entire game map of Shandalar is procedurally generated. So every time you start a new game, you just start off like somewhere in the world, and you have to explore and find, you know, what cities are where and what they have. La la la. Okay, so these are good quests. Whenever you're given the task of delivering a letter somewhere, you can get the reward for the quest really easily. All you have to do is just go to the town that they ask you to do. Monolinks are good because they increase your starting health in matches. Like right now, I think we have 10 monolinks, which, you know, isn't the greatest. Yeah, we want to get more monolinks so that we have an easier time fighting our... Wow, that's loud. So, yeah, we want to establish more monolinks, so we start off with more health, which gives us more of a buffer when we're going up against enemies. So, as you can see here, we are up against this dude, this cleric. They're fairly low level, but, you know, as you see, they have Savannah Lions that they can cast on the first turn, so things can go south pretty quickly if you don't get the units you need. And it really helps to have that buffer. So we're going to start off summoning some Raiders here. We don't have enough swamps to actually regenerate our Drudge Skeletons if they block on the next turn, and our Raiders will take out any creature that he attacks with. That's a very questionable move, but okay. Oh, I see what you're doing there. You're making it so they don't untap. That's cute. Of course, that doesn't last past your turn, so I don't know why you did that. The AI in this knows how to play the game for the most part, but it sometimes makes some pretty questionable decisions. So we're going to summon Drudge Skeletons. We'll keep that mana around for them to regenerate if they end up blocking. Raiders we are for sure going to attack with, because they deal damage to us if we don't attack with them. And, that's interesting. Oh, right, because they have banding. Stuff you forget about. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? Grape Shot Catapult. Not super helpful on account of there aren't any enemies with flying, but could still help out. The Frozen Shade is actually going to be of questionable utility. At least to start with, due to the Meek Stone. Well, then again, it's only till the end of the turn, so actually that should be just fine. Let's go ahead and just stay here for now until we have creatures that are a little beefier. Samite Healer. Okay. Not sure why he did that. Seemed like kind of a questionable move to me. Let's go ahead and summon ourselves a Grape Shot Catapult. And I think the time has come for us to summon a Mesa Pegasus. This will allow us to start attacking him and dealing some damage, since he has no flying creatures available to block. And yeah, he's pumped up that Samite Healer quite a bit, such that it will be difficult for us to successfully attack him. He doesn't have anyone with banding. I wish we had Terror in our deck. If we had Terror, that would be excellent. Unfortunately, we do not. So I'm gonna continue to play conservatively here until we have the opportunity to do something really helpful. That was a deeply questionable move, sir. I'm not sure why he did that. Oh no, that's not true. I know why he did it. I just question his commitment to sparkle motion. Alright, let's go ahead and start picking away at this guy with our Mesa Pegasus. Luckily, he doesn't have much health, so it shouldn't take too much to bring him down. Eh, he has a Benelish hero. That's not great. That's going to interfere with our ability to mess with him on account of the whole banding thing. Luckily, we have our Mesa Pegasus, so we can continue to pick away at him with impunity here. Yeah, now we have a Benelish hero. Let's do it. And some Merc Dwellers, why not? It's starting to look like we're just gonna win, mainly by dint of our Mesa Pegasus here. I'm kind of surprised he's not using his Samite. Well, actually that makes sense. He needs his Samite healer to block. If I were him, I would untap the Tanos' weaponry and put those power-up effects on Benelish Hero or Amru Kithkin, because he needs to start preventing damage with that Samite healer. Otherwise things are going to go very poorly for him, I think. So we've built up quite a force here. What I'd like to have happen is to put him in a position where he's forced to use his Samite healer to prevent damage to himself from the Mesa Pegasus, thus tapping him and leaving him vulnerable. Or he could just, you know, die from sheer stupidity. That's also an acceptable option. Just simply failing to block the damage from the Mesa Pegasus. I mean, I'll take it. I'm in a pretty secure position here between the Wall of Swords and the Wall of Spears. I don't really need to worry about holding onto units quite as much here. What I might do is maybe next turn I'll pump up my Frozen Shade and start taking whacks at him with him if he doesn't do anything to prevent the damage from the... or if he does something to prevent the damage from the Mesa Pegasus. Which reasonably he should do. Like, I mean, he's just letting me get in lots of free whacks here. For no good reason. Okay. So, we have an Amulet of Krug that we can use to prevent damage. We have the Benelish Hero we can use to band with some of our attacking creatures. We have Drudge Skeletons who can regenerate. And we have a Yoshin Soldier. What I think I'm going to do is pump up my Frozen Shade and attack with the Benelish Hero and the Frozen Shade. And see what happens. We'll also attack with our Mesa Pegasus, thereby forcing the Samite Healer into a position where he has to block. Let's see, Frozen Shade, Benelish Hero, band with the Frozen Shade, please. Frozen, okay. Fast effects. Activating Frozen Shade. Let's start pumping you up. And now we have a 7/9 Frozen Shade. That's pretty frightening, let's be real. Huh. Yeah, okay. Assign damage to attackers. Well, obviously that's going to go to the Frozen Shade there. Okay, so he managed to survive the turn at the cost of his Benelish Hero. That's fine. No complaints there. Oh, that's not cool. Boo. Okay. Well, he did get rid of them. He's in a pretty bad position here. I think I'm just going to attack with everyone because he just doesn't have enough creatures to block, and frankly, who cares? Like, I'm going to win on this turn regardless, so it doesn't really matter a whole heck of a lot. Yep. Okay, and we will attack with you, and... nah, not with you. Okay. Oh, yeah, sure, let's prevent a damage to... yeah, does it really matter? Doesn't really matter, actually, forget it. Fine, let's do it to him. Done. Meh, big deal. So every time you kill a dude in this game, all of the enemies belong to one of 5 colors, right? You've got your black, your red, your white, your green, and your blue. We just took out a cleric who's of the white, so that deals 1 damage to the big bad of the white color, right? Eventually, in this game... ah, that's exciting. Yeah, I'll stake the cards. So we reach Aminax's tower, we get a monolink, now we will start every battle with 11 health instead of 10. So yeah, basically, you're going to end up fighting each of those big bads in turn, and then eventually the big bad. And that is just how this game goes. Let's, you know, we're getting a lot of good white cards here. Let's go ahead and load up on those a bit. We'll make this a little less black heavy, a little more evenly white and black. That should do just fine. Alright, and that's a pretty good start. Let's go ahead and... no, don't quit. Where's the thing where we save? Oh, here we go. You right-click. Ha, totally forgot. Works for me. Alright folks, that's it for this episode. When we come back, we will continue on our journey.